You probably expect me to be spilling some tea in this video, but this is actually cold coffee. And from a practical standpoint, why would you waste tea? Hi YouTube, it's Kathy. I'm here to talk to you about why classics just aren't for me, and that's okay. I'm also drinking decaf coffee because I have stomach issues, and I put ice in it to make it deliberately cold because it got to that disgusting lukewarm temperature that makes everything undrinkable, and it's pretty good. Now I imagine a video like this might come with some controversy, so right off the bat I'm going to let you know that if you like classics, that is totally fine. I am very happy for you that you enjoy them. I have a naturally sarcastic voice, so if that sounded sarcastic, I meant it genuinely. Also that. As with any genre that people choose to read, some people are going to like it and some people aren't, and it's totally fine if you do, and it's totally fine if I don't. So yeah, I'm not here to spill any tea, I'm just here to talk about why classics don't work for me. So the reason why I'm bringing this up now is I'm currently doing the book Swap-a-thon, and one of the challenges is to swap the genre you would usually read, so read something you wouldn't usually. For this, I decided to pick up a classic because classics are not things that I've typically gotten along with in the past. In fact, I did some research to find an extremely short classic because I knew I wasn't going to enjoy this experience, and only 88 pages of this is actually the classic and the rest is like talking about the text. This is Billy Budd by Herman Melville. Sometimes it's called Billy Budd Top Foreman or Billy Budd Sailor, but Billy Budd, whichever one. Basically, it's about a sailor. That's all you really need to know from the title. I got 4 chapters in, which is a whopping 18 pages, and I think I just have to DNF it. I am a completist, and I would love to complete all of the challenges for the readathon, but I just don't think it's going to happen. Here's my thing with classics. I've been told, especially through the school system, that if you are a reader, you should read classics, know where everything came from, and then read all of the newer stuff later, and the newer stuff is fluffy, whereas this is hard reading, this is good reading, this is the reading that'll put hair on your chest or whatever. Although I can appreciate reading books and understanding the historical context from which they came, and using them as a way to discuss society at the time the book was written, oftentimes the most impactful a classic has been in a classroom setting where there is a teacher there to tell me what I don't understand. I'm not going to sit here and say I am the most intelligent person in the world, because I'm definitely not, but I am fairly intelligent, and half the time I do not understand what I'm reading when I read a classic. Let's pull up an example from this book, shall we? I'm just gonna pick a random page and start reading, and if you understand, please tell me what's going on. Very likely it is no new remark that the inventions of our time have been brought about the change in sea warfare in degree corresponding to the revolution in all warfare affected by the original introduction from China into Europe of gunpowder. That is the type of sentence I would have to read 3 times to be like, yes, warfare is affected by gunpowder. Okay, now I understand. The thing is though, the majority of my reading at this point in my life, possibly all of it, let's be honest, is for pleasure, and if I'm not enjoying it because I have to read every sentence 3 times to figure out what the author is saying, why? Why would I do that to myself? Yes, I understand that analyzing texts can be important, but I am not writing a thesis. I'm not here to figure out exactly why Herman Melville wrote this. I just want to read a book. And yes, I am that type of nerd who loves it when I learn new words, so you would think that the fact that the vernacular is slightly different would be interesting to me, and to a degree it is. However, the incredibly different syntax just takes me out of enjoying whatever I'm reading. And I can sympathize. In my own writing, I write incredibly long sentences that need a better structure. It happens. But at least I can make sense of my own sentences as they're going, as opposed to sentences in this. In this matter of writing, resolved as one may to keep the main road, some bypaths have enticed not readily to be withstood. What? Also, the point of this video isn't to say classics are ridiculous and there's no good part about them, because that is false. Obviously there are people, many of them on YouTube, who are drawn to the classic plots. I cannot tell you how many videos I've watched where people have said that Jane Austen is their favorite writer. And that's fantastic! I can see the draw after I dig through about 12 layers of not understanding what she's talking about to realize that yes, she is being really funny. I just don't think that I'm up for that mental work every time I want to enjoy a book. I can and do enjoy the plot lines of a classic, but I enjoy them much better in retellings. In the last year or 2, I've read a couple of retellings that I absolutely love, even though I've never picked up the classic because I know it would be a slog and I don't want to ruin it for me. And it's quite a hesitation to put something like this out there because there's this perception that if you don't read classics, you're not really a reader, which, no. Do you read? You are a reader. Have you listened to an audiobook and enjoyed the experience? You are a reader. Did somebody read a book to you and you were engaged by the experience and enjoyed it? You are a reader. So at this point, I basically want to open it up to a discussion in the comments. If you are a classics reader, please let me know about why and how you read classics. Is it mostly in an academic setting? Is it for fun and you just happen to understand the vernacular and the syntax and it works for you? Because that's totally great and I'm very excited for you if it does. If you're not a classics reader, tell me about that as well, but be nice. Nobody fighting in my comments, please. And one last thing I want to ask. If you know of any retellings of a classic, please let me know down below. I love retellings of classics and I would love to read many more of them to get a better understanding of these classics that I feel like I'm missing out on because I can't seem to dig through all of the layers to understand why people like them. I mean, on a logical level, I know why people like them. They enjoy the characters, the plot, or what for, like you would with any other genre. But I personally find it very difficult to get to the plot or the characters or whatever because I can't get myself through the language. To me, trying to read a classic is like trying to read a grocery list with a few different words smushed in there that I don't know, with a couple of connecting words to make them into sentences that don't necessarily make any sense. Or to use a different analogy, I remember some of the French I was taught in high school, but it's been a while, and it would be like me trying to read something in French. If the book was of a lower vocabulary, I might get the most of it, but I would have to try really hard to do it, and that's just not my jam. I'm honestly a little scared that people are going to just say I'm lazy and don't like to take up a challenge, and that's what reading is about, and that might be it for you. I just happen to like different challenges, such as doing readathons. I've done so many this year, I'm doing one, and soon I will be doing 2 at the same time. And that's not even the first time this has happened. So yeah, talk to me about this down in the comments below. On the way down to the comments, if you hit that subscribe button, that would be very nice of you. You can like and share this as you see fit, and I will see you very soon. Bye!